Hey, what up, YouTube? I know I look ugly as shit right now, but yeah, but I got another story to tell y'all. This time I went to Tijuana, Tijuana on Wednesday with the girl I mentioned in my my previous video about getting jumped by them big ass three Samoans, right? She's been asking me, trying to get me to go to Tijuana for a long time, since last year. So I finally gave in. You know, I was scared and kind of nervous because, you know, how, everybody knows how stuff goes down out there. Not to mention my friend, I think it was her cousin, her nephew, he just came up missing out there and they found him dead. And, and she told me that right before I went, and that's basically when it happened. So, I was kind of cautious. So I go out there and she didn't tell me exactly why we was going out there. Other than, okay, she wants to show me around and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, we get there. First thing I should have, went in my mind, should have had probably, took as a sign was that I didn't know you had to have a passport to go to Mexico. I ain't never had a passport in my life. All I had was just my ID. And so, we get there, we going through the customs part. So I'm already going through the Mexican side, so I'm talking to whoever's in charge, Mexican guy. I couldn't understand where he was saying, he was speaking English. And what you doing? That's my son, by the way. So, yeah, he was like, oh yeah, you need a passport. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that. It's my first time coming, so I didn't know that. And so he was asking me like, oh, where you going? And me personally, I didn't know exactly what he meant by, oh, where you going? Because I'm thinking he was talking about like if I was going to where I was going inside of TJ. So I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, what are you coming here to do? And I was like, oh, we're coming here to eat. I ain't never been here before. So he coming here to eat. And he started asking me, oh, where you from? So I'm like, Long Beach. That's all I said. And I was like, wait, oh, I forgot. I don't know if you know where Long Beach, California is. So I was like, Long Beach, California. And he started looking my name up in the system and stuff. And then he looked at me. He was like, are you coming to see a doctor? I'm like, no, just come here to eat. So he let me go. And then we get in. We get inside, we in Mexico at this point. And then there's a little taco, little stand thing. So I'm like, my friend, she asked me, say, hey, do you want to get some tacos? I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get some. I ain't gonna lie, them things was fire, dude. They taste a whole lot different from the ones over here in the United States. Completely different. But, so, then this is guy, he at the taco stand. He didn't work there. He was just, for whatever reason, standing there. The dude kept mugging me. So I'm like, I'm looking at him, but then I have to remember because she told me before we went, she said, okay, don't stare at people and stuff like that. Don't be looking around because they'll think you're doing something. So, I stopped looking at him. But this fool was staring at me for like the whole time was there. He kept looking at me. And then he walked off. I'm like, so I told her, I said, hey man, I don't feel comfortable over here, man, because, this and that. So then we get a taxi. And then get in, so we go to this place. I guess it's their mall. It's their mall, but it looks like an indoor swap meet over here in Los Angeles. But no lie though, it reminded me of like downtown Los Angeles, like that area. So we get to this place, and then she's like, oh, I'm came here to get my hair dyed. I'm like, really? So then I said, okay, how long it's gonna take? And she was like, oh, 2.5 hours. So I'm like, all right, well, we ain't got no choice since we came down here already. And so, we finally get to the fast forward story. We finally get to the little mall. To me, it's an indoor swap meet, but we finally get to the little mall. And yeah, said 2.5 hours for a hair. So I'm like, all right, we already here, so go ahead. Mind you, I don't have no cell phone service out there at all. Cause I ain't never been out the country, so I don't have that that international cell phone plan thing, whatever you call it. And so 2 hours goes by, I'm just sitting there, obviously, from somebody over there looking at somebody like me being big and black, just sitting there. And, I was looking at the girls, like it was some cute girls up in there. I ain't gonna lie, it was cute. It had some nice bodies. Well, it had some nice bodies and everything. Well, except for the ones that had them BBLs and stuff, but it was funny because a lot of transsexuals kept passing by and stuff, and it was an experience. So And then this guy, like, I'm not looking at nobody. I'm still not looking at nobody. Minding my business. And I see out the corner of my eye this crazy looking Mexican dude walking up. And like, I can see him looking at me. Like, he looking at me, mean mugging me, like, hard as fuck. And I'm like, and then the ladies that were sitting next to me, because they were talking that whole time to, you know, to each other. And then when he walked up and did that, they got quiet. And all of a sudden, they start whispering amongst each other when he was walking off. And I'm like, okay, I already know something is up. This guy must be somebody. So then, you know, I thought he left, but then he comes back. This time, he came straight at me. He was like, what's up, fool? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, shit. What's happening now, man? But if it was out here in America, I would have said, nigga, what's up? But I remember what she said, and I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who he know. And I ain't trying to come back in no body bag, be chopped up and shit. So I just looked at him. I was like that, right? So then he walked off. And then all of a sudden, the ladies, they started talking normal and stuff again. And then so, like, right after he did that, right, like 5 minutes later, I started seeing a bunch of crazy looking motherfuckers with tattoos and shit. I'm like, oh, these fools is part of the cartel or something. They kept coming past me, mean mugging me and stuff. So at first, I didn't say nothing to my friend. I didn't say nothing to her at first. But then I was like, all right, I think it's time to go. So, but mind you, she's still getting her hair done. She looked crazy with her hair and shit because it's still being done. And I told her what happened. I said, it's time to go. And so she was about to have her, because she still had at least like another 2 hours to go. So she was about to text. I guess she has people that live in Tijuana. So she was about to text her aunt to come and pick me up. But then the people that were doing her hair, which was a gay guy and a transsexual, they told her to tell me, because they don't speak English, so they told her to tell me to come sit up here, you know, where she was at, off in the cut. And so, you know, I did that. And, yeah, so then they told her, like, okay, we'll hurry up so, you know, you can get him out of here and this and that. So I was like, all right, man, you said an hour? Okay, I'll wait another hour. But mind you, nigga, my nerves is bad, man. I'm over here being watched and a whole bunch of stuff. So then when she was finally done, we walking and we waiting. And they had told us, they was like, look, don't take a taxi because you can't trust the taxis right now. So take an Uber. So, what, man? Okay. All right, go sit down. I got to tell my story, Dad. But anyways, so when we get outside, you know, we waiting because the Ubers kept on canceling on us and stuff like that. And the whole time we sitting outside, all these crazy looking dudes, the ones I was talking about, they watching me and this and that. I'm like, and you know, I'm like, oh man, they watching me and stuff. And then, so then finally, a Uber finally came. Nigga, they opened that door, threw me in that car so quick, and got us up out of there. Cause I was like, shit crazy. And then, so when we finally got to the back on the American side, I told her, I was like, what are those guys? Because the crazy dudes, they kept wearing these, like, every time they came by, it was either the same person or like two other ones. And they had these like skull masks on and stuff like that. And they were dressing all black and shit. And when I told her that, she was like, yeah, those are the hitmen. I said, so you mean to tell me? I was, bro, this went left real quick. And I'm like, man, I'm glad I got up out of there because if I'd have stayed there any longer in that place, I think some shit would have happened. Like, this crazy. Would I go back? It's like up in the air, like 50-50. But I told her, I said, if I do go back, we can't just sit in the same spot like that because obviously I stand out. Wherever I go, I stand out and I'm just sitting there. I was literally just sitting there for 4 hours, like just sitting there. So, yeah. And once she told me that those were hitmen, and she was telling me that I guess because it's like a beauty place mall, and she said that all like the cartel girlfriends and stuff go there, and so yeah, the cartel, yeah, the dudes, they were from the cartel. Man, bro, I'm glad I got out because niggas was gonna get chopped up or something, but I wasn't going out with no fight. That went left, but that's what happened in TJ for my first time ever. Terrible. On to the next story. Well, actually, I'm gonna record my basketball game for y'all this Sunday, and then I'm gonna put it up here. It's gonna be comedy, like I said, because I suck ass right now. Last Sunday was my first game I played in and touched the basketball in 4 years. But until the next story, next game, I'll see y'all later, YouTube.